Welcome back. We had so much fun with our OG summer chat with Kevin Keats. Decided to do it again. That's right. We'll have another OG summer chat, this time with NC State baseball player Alec Makarewicz, or ECU baseball player AMAC. One of the same. Had an unbelievable year. Has a very interesting story, and I wanted to talk to him because I felt like there were some Russell Wilson vibes there. Like, what really happened, right? So instead of waiting 10 years to tell the story, I figured I'd try to catch up with AMAC, was able to do that, and appreciate him for taking some time. He is the first athlete that we've had up here. Just don't tell Scott Wood, my friend Scott Wood. So he came up to the Eford Studios. Big thanks to Empire Properties for having us in our home. I've been on the road and missed this place. You know, you get into a routine and you realize how much where you go each day becomes a part of your life. So we can't do this without Greg Hatem and Empire Properties and Empire Eats. That interview with Kevin Keats was done over at the Raleigh Times. That upstairs now has turned into a little bit of a sports viewing area. You could see some of that memorabilia there. I'll provide a link to the Kevin Keats interview as well here underneath, but just also want to thank our wonderful sponsors before we get into our interview with AMAC. I was over at Happy and Hale earlier this week. This is July, right? So I go over there. My dad had never been. My dad's 81. He gets an eye shot once a month for his macular degeneration. And I said, have you tried my Happy and Hale yet? He said, no. I said, oh, you are in for a treat, sir. Just so happened I got him the Thai chicken crunch, which is unbelievable. I got the Med Bowl because I had been up in Jersey. Way too much pizza, way too much bagels. I needed a break. I needed a Happy and Hale break. So go check them out. They are over on in North Hills, and they're also off of Six Forks and Strickland. They also have a spot in Durham. And of course, when we get back into action at the arena, I know a lot of people are clamoring for a lot of Canes talk. We will do that. We'll do that soon. Actually, we have some interviews on the books for that, so we won't be leaving you in the dark with our OG summer chats, our OG summer sessions. But go check them out. Download the app too, Happy and Hale. Happy plus Hale. You save time by ordering on the app. It's always ready when you walk in. You also get a free smoothie when you sign up for the app, and for your birthday, you get a free bowl. So check them out at Happy and Hale in all of their locations. And Roback, as you can see, it's this side. There's the dog. Roback. You don't know me like that. We just had the hottest week of the summer. Well, I was in New York for part of it, and I had my old North State shirt on and repping Roback and feeling cool, feeling good. A lot of people around me went to a Mets game up at Citi Field, were melting. I was not. You see this hoodie. I was actually wearing the hoodie as well up in the city because even though it's long sleeve, there's a cooling effect to it. The materials that they use, I'm telling you, second to none. The golf shirt is the best. Check them out. It's roback.com, RHO back, roback.com. Use that promo code OG20 and you can save yourself 20%. Again, that's OG20 and then save 20%. Now, we are going to have an OG Summer Jam. Well, what does that mean, Gilio? Sunday, July 28th, we are going to be at the Crank Arm Brewery on West Davies Street. Come downtown. Come hang out with us. Obviously, there's beer. Wonderful beer. Beer-flavored beer if you're into it. Funky flavors. The Hawaiian Punch Seltzer if you want it. And, of course, all of the IPAs that you can handle. Great beer selection. We'll also have a DJ there. So we got tunes. There's the jam part. And we'll not only have a food truck, but we'll also have our friends from the Butcher's Market. Yes, if you've ever been to the OG tailgate, you know when Kenneth brings the grill, A, I'm not allowed to touch it, but B, he will have unbelievable chicken and steak. And that will all be what we'll be giving away there at the Summer Jam. So come check us out. It's the OG Summer Jam. It is July 28th. We will be at the Crank Arm Brewing, crankarmbrewing.com. Check them out for all of their different beer selections. All right. Now, Let's get into this conversation with Alec Makarewicz. If you don't know, he spent his first 4 years at ECU, third baseman, solid player, good player. When he'll tell the story about how he got to NC State, but spent his last year at NC State, ends up hitting 378 in 61 games, 24 home runs, 24 doubles, 84 RBI. That's kind of sort of bonkers, if you ask me. Had some kind of year in 61 games. Hit a home run that ensured their win down in Georgia. Hit 2 home runs in Omaha from each side of the plate, which I really think he helped his professional draft causes. But D1 baseball, All-American, All-ACC, you name it, had one of the best seasons in the history of NC State baseball. So how did he get to NC State? How did he leave ECU? What does he think of ECU? What does he think of NC State? What did he think of the year that he just had for the Wolfpack, leading them to the College World Series in Omaha? Well, don't take my word for it. Take his. Let's start our summer session conversation with AMAC, Alec Makarewicz. All right, we got a little bit of history here in the Eford Studios on the Heastra Automotive Group hotline. We're here in studio with Alec Makarewicz. AMAC, don't tell Scott Wood, but you're like the first real athlete that's been in the studio joining us here in person. So I would like to just take note of this historical honor and thank you for coming in on this random summer Tuesday and joining me for a conversation.
Yeah, I'm honored. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, there's enough state stuff in here. There's a little bit of ECU stuff in here. So we'll talk a little bit about both things. But it's been now, what has it been, 2 weeks? Has it really kind of hit you what kind of season that you just turned in? I just saw the honor from D1baseball.com. And if anybody who follows college baseball knows, they are the authority on college baseball. All-American for you. No big surprise. 24 home runs this year for NC State. You had an unbelievable season. Has it kind of, and obviously the team ends up beating Georgia in the super regionals, goes to Omaha. That had to be some kind of dream come true for you as well. But has it all kind of hit you yet that you just had this really unbelievable extra year, if you will, with the Wolfpack?
Yeah, it's definitely hit me. Getting all the accolades on social media, once you see it and you're just sitting around, it's made it kind of settle in a little more, but I'm just so grateful for all of that.
Now, did you have any idea that this was going to happen? You start your career at ECU, you're there for 4 years. We can get into a little bit about that. You graduate, you go into the portal, you get here. I mean, did you think you could go from, 11 home runs twice at ECU, got 250, 260s to 380 and 24 home runs? Did you think you could take that kind of leap in your final year?
So yeah, I mean, I had high expectations for myself, and I felt like I could do more. So once I decided to come to state, I had talked with the coaches, and a lot of people didn't see what I did in the fall, but I hit around 400 in the fall at state, and obviously we have a great pitching staff, so I knew that I could do that during the regular season as well. But I talked to the coaches about changing some of my hitting philosophy, and then Bo, Rob, and Hart were like, well, we see a couple mechanic issues that we could clean up, and it just clicked from there.
I shortchanged your 84 RBIs too. 84 RBI in 61 games, man. That's balling. I mean, did you have to pinch yourself during the year that it was going this well? Because we all have ideas, man. Like, we started a podcast a little bit more than a year ago, and you think, oh man, maybe it'll work. I don't know. Then you're in the top 5% of all Apple podcasts. You're like, oh shit, we're actually pretty good at this. You know what I mean? So, like, there are times where I have to step back and be like, man, this is really working. Was there ever a moment or a weekend series where you're like, man, this is like everything I ever thought it could be?
Makes me think of Hawaii when you said that.
Really?
Because I hit a home run lefty and righty.
Okay.
In the same game, and it was just like, I don't know, the coolest thing ever, because I'd never been to Hawaii.
You hadn't done that before?
No, and well, I've done that once at Cincinnati.
Okay.
But I just did it again, and it was just earlier in the year, like it was the second week of the season, and I was like, my confidence went up a ton, and I was like, let's go.
I was going to say, is there more to it than that sometimes than confidence? I mean, Did you do anything mechanically? You said Bo Robinson,
Mhm.
one of the unsung heroes there at NC State.
Yep.
Because Clint handles pitching, Chris Hart. I like to say, I say this to Elliot's face. I mean, someone's got to coach the team. Elliot's the CEO there. Elliot's the man who makes everything go. But someone's got to keep the trains running on time, and that's Chris has got a lot to do with that. But Bo, was there a tweak that had kind of helped you in the fall that you thought, okay, this could really unlock something for me?
Yeah, I mean, I told him about what I felt like I was struggling with at ECU that I hadn't really got to work on there, and right-handed, it was with my right-handed swing, I was rolling through contact, which was what he noticed. But lefty, I told him that a lot of people tell me, you're pulling off, and no one really told me anything that would click to make me like stop doing that. So Bo Rob kind of just verbalized the adjustments that I needed to make, if that makes sense, with my left-handed swing.
And was that all stuff that happened early in the fall and then just kind of carried over, or?
I mean, I wasn't always
more process.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really always doing it. Like I would get my hot streaks at ECU, and then I'd go on like a slump, and people would say, well, it's because you're pulling off and your barrel's dragging and it looks slow. And I told Bo, like, people were saying my swing was slow, and I never talked about that before with the coach. So I was like, how can we fix that? Like, what drills can we do? What do I need to be feeling? And I was in there with him, like just me and him in the mornings. Like because I had class in the afternoon, so I could get in there with him, and we just talked about it, and it started to click. And then I found a good routine off of that to keep feeling the right feels, so that my swings, which is what he would say, were leaking. He would say we'd stop leaking and get a good routine, so that before the game you can, feel like you're connected really well.
Does it even matter what your natural side is now? Like, and when did you start switch hitting?
I started switch hitting basically T-ball.
T-ball,
as far as I can remember. I grabbed the bat right-handed in the left-handed batter's box, and they were like, just try both.
It worked out.
Yep, it worked out.
What was we'll start at the end. What was it like getting to Omaha? And I know you guys didn't win, but you had some great at-bats. You guys had some great games, and I thought all of the competition between all of those 8 teams, I thought really you could have flipped a coin, and anybody could have come out of either side. So for you, what was it like, again, when you're at ECU for 4 years, and it is something that's kind of drilled into you, and then obviously at State, they had been 2 times before. What was that journey kind of like for you finally getting there?
So I kind of have a cool story off of that. In April, I did an interview with T-Roy, our media guy.
Okay.
He was like he asked about my goals, and I said that I'd been really close to Omaha. I've been really close 3 years at ECU, and just haven't been able to get over that hump. And then when we were in Georgia and I got that at bat and I hit that home run, I was like, we're gonna do this thing. Like this is it. This is what the goal that I set, and I'm about to achieve it. And it's just cool to be able to say I achieved every goal. I wish I would have said in the interview I was going to win a national championship. So I might have to take some blame there. So sorry.
I don't think so. You balled out in Omaha too, man. What was that Georgia series like? Obviously Condon, #1 player, and potentially will go super high in the draft, the college player of the year. You put up unbelievable numbers, but his were like, video game numbers compared to what even you did. So what was that series like? I mean, you guys go down there, smack them in the mouth in game 1, and then they responded, and then you have a great game 3. But just kind of that whole weekend, what was that like for you?
It was really cool to just play such a good offensive team. But when we got there, I mean, we're really good offensively too, and at times, like sometimes not the best, like their numbers were when we compared our numbers to their offensive
numbers were like off the charts. Do you think it was the park or them, or maybe both?
I think it was a little bit of both. They're a really good team, but yeah. I remember just the first BP we hit, I think people were posting about on social media, like the wind blows out like crazy. Like you put it up in the air. Like we had guys hitting balls over the batter's eye, and it is deep to left field, but the ball was still flying out to left, and obviously the right field corner was 315. So it was really short over there. So, I mean, we knew like it was going to be a swing off like all weekend. And it was.
What did you know about Elliot Avent before you got to NC State, and what do you know? What will you take with you now that you've had a year with him?
So I didn't really know anything about him.
Okay.
I didn't even know who the head coach was.
When
I played against them at ECU.
When you were at ECU.
Yeah.
You were in your own zone, man.
No, yeah. I didn't. Other than I knew Forbes was Carolina's head coach. That's about it.
Okay.
Like, and from the in-state rivalry wise. But yeah, I didn't really have any expectations for him. But as soon as I took my visit here, because I didn't know where I was gonna go, I had talked to actually, which is kind of ironic. I talked to Florida and Kentucky before I talked to anybody else. So that was kind of crazy. But once I took a visit to state, yeah, he was like, it was like home. Like I walked in and he was like, let's go around. Like you need to, once I committed, he was like, let's look at places to live. Like he drove me and Brooke, my girlfriend, around looking at apartments. He was like, I just bought this truck off the lot. Like I want to drive it around. Like let's go look at places. I was like, I love this guy.
So let's talk a little bit about ECU and your time at ECU. You were on some of their best teams in school history. I mean, you got some teammates now playing in the major leagues. Like you were on some teams, man. But you said you didn't really know about state. You didn't really know about Carolina. You grew up in Florida. So you get here. What was the process like getting to ECU and just kind of learning like, oh shit, this is like a super crazy big deal in Greenville where baseball really is a true passion?
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't really realize how big the fan base was there, like growing up in Florida, and I didn't really follow college baseball. So I didn't really know, even though they are well known in the college baseball world. But the fans were just what caught my eye the biggest. Like on my recruiting visit there, they played a video and it had, the jungle and stuff, and I was like, this is cool. That looked like so much fun. So that's kind of what grabbed me.
You guys, when you think back to the chances that you had at ECU, was it a matter of the draw? Was it a matter of bad luck? Was it a matter of like, I look at it and I go, there are certain, like NC State just ended this long drought in basketball where they'd gone, since 1987 without winning the ACC tournament. And obviously the fan base wants it so badly, right? And ECU, you're talking about a program that's been to the NCAA tournament more than anyone else without having that breakthrough to Omaha. So when you're there and you're in it, were you trying to kind of compartmentalize what the main goal was and just kind of be who you guys were? Or is it such a big specter kind of hanging over the whole program that you're like, okay, this is what we're working towards?
I mean,
that's a long way of me saying to you, like, is it possible for you to look back now and realize, yeah, the team that lost to Vanderbilt might have been the best team in school history?
I haven't really thought about it much, to be honest.
Okay.
I've kind of erased a lot of that from my mind.
Well, we can get into that. But because to me, it is, you play there and you have an experience there with their fan base, right? And now you've seen it on both sides. So you did get a chance to go play there. They kicked your ass both games this year. So what was it like going back? I know you hit a home run and you got an earful. My son's a freshman there, and he was like, "Oh, that guy." And I was like, "Hey," so come on, man. He graduated from ECU. Show him some love. But that didn't quite work out that way, did it?
No, yeah. I mean,
there had to be some people still supporting you there, though, right?
Yeah, there was some people in the stands I could hear trying to tell people not to boo me and stuff.
Okay.
But it was still I think it was a sold out crowd. So it was 6,000, overpowering.
On top of you.
a lot of students out there, and you don't really know. I'm not going to look at everyone that's booing me. And
right.
I know you.
Right.
But
did it bother you?
I mean, it was kind of upsetting, obviously, because I was there, 4 years. I played through food poisoning in Clearwater. I did all these things for the program, and people don't really see all of it. And it was just it was tough, but it was honestly relieving once I got walked my first at bat. So I was like, all right, the nerves were kind of down a little bit. And then eventually I hit that home run, and that was one of the furthest balls I think I've hit in college, in all 4 seasons of playing, 5 years. But yeah, I mean, it was tough for sure.
Did you get a chance to catch up with any of your teammates? Because you saw them twice. You saw them here in Raleigh. You saw them in Greenville.
A couple guys, spoke to me, and we said good luck and stuff. But I haven't really heard from a ton of guys. But it is what it is. Obviously, if you move away, you kind of grow apart with some people. But I do wish more people would have reached out to me. But it is what it is.
You think they were mad at you, or you think they were just kind of caught up in everything that was going on?
Yeah, I mean, you never really know.
Yeah.
So that's.
All right, so let's go through the exit from Greenville, because even I get the timeline slightly mixed up. You're there for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So last summer, most people know that after 3 years in college baseball, you're eligible for the draft. So obviously you played your 4th year and your intention was to go into the draft and play professional baseball.
Yeah.
Is that basically
pretty much
accurate so far? Okay. So the draft goes by. They've shortened the draft. No shame in any of that. You don't get drafted. So after you don't get drafted, what happened next?
So basically I knew I was gonna transfer. Like if I didn't sign,
okay.
I wanted to try something different as a hitter because I've tried so much there and nothing was really clicking like I thought it could. And there was times where I thought I was a great hitter, but it was only for little small streaks, and I wasn't able to minimize those slumps that I had there.
Okay. So obviously you're disappointed. You don't get drafted. You don't get an opportunity to play pro.
Yeah.
There is some disappointment on your side.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was definitely disappointed.
So you have a COVID year to use. So you say, instead of going back to ECU, I'm going to go in the portal.
Yeah.
Basically.
So yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the day after the draft, and went in Cliff's office and told him.
Cliff Godwin, ECU baseball coach.
Yeah, the head coach went in his office and said, thank you. Like I wasn't able to get many words in once I said transfer portal. So I said thank you, and pretty much that was it. Had to start looking at schools.
Okay. Now his reaction was not magnanimous.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't really get a ton of words in. And
now it's just to be super clear here, because we had the situation in NC State where Tommy White has this unbelievable year, and everyone knows he can go into the portal and make money on name, image, and likeness. And I think some people looked at it and said, "Oh gosh, what a jerk." And most people, I think, looked at it and go, "You know what? That's what college baseball is now. Good for Tommy White. Ends up at LSU, wins a national championship."
Yeah.
But that's not what your situation was. Like, you didn't go in there and say, "Hey, I have an NIL opportunity. I'm leaving for NC State, or I'm going to an SEC school."
No.
You just came in and said, "Hey, it didn't work out in the draft. I would like to try something new." Yeah. And that was it.
Yeah. And I mean, I tried to say thank you, and I think I did say thank you. I did say thank you, but it was pretty quick, like kind of just get out of here.
Okay. How did that make you feel?
I mean, obviously I was upset. But I mean, I had to.
Did you anticipate that he was going to be upset? Because ECU is a proud program. Cliff's a proud guy. Like I think they take that as, and I think the way he tweeted it was, no one player is bigger than our program. And he's kind of been going through it a little bit now since other players have left this year. But did you kind of take it that way? He's just a proud guy, and this is the way he sees it, and sees this as a special place and has a true love for it? Or did you take it more personal than that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it hurt. Because I just I didn't think that would kind of be the way that I left. Because I was there longer than anyone else that has ever transferred from that program, being just a graduate there. And so I was like, I kind of expected it to go a little bit differently. But it is what it is. I do think everything happens for a reason, and didn't really know where I was going to go.
I remember you didn't know, right? Like, this wasn't an NIL situation where an SEC school. We've seen this at NC State, other than Tommy White, Cannon Peebles. It happens. You put your name in, and people offer you. And honestly, the way that it works now, you have to cash in when you can.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Especially with the way baseball, the minors have gone. They've contracted. There's not as many opportunities to play professionally as there once was. I mean, it has to be a serious consideration, but that wasn't part of your calculus.
Yeah, like it was pretty emotional after I left his office and didn't really know where I was going to go. Like my girlfriend was crying. She was like,
sure.
I don't know where you're going to go, because she's from Greenville. So
okay.
Obviously I wanted to stay close by. Luckily it worked out with NC State, but NC State didn't even reach out to me. Once I was in the portal, like I think it was like a day or late, maybe that night. A couple of players from that I'd played with in the past were like, "Hey, would you be interested in state?" And I was getting blown up, like I said, by Kentucky and Florida, and I think Arizona, UCF called me, talked to them, but those are the only teams I gave most of my time to. And but yeah, I didn't really know where I was going to go, and so eventually State reached out, and I think a couple of days later I took that visit, and I was like, all right, this is going to be, I think this is where I'm meant to be. I really loved Coach Avent, and, still love him to death. It was everything that I wanted, and honestly more, this year.
Well, they had a need too, again, they lost one of their players in the portal. Their shortstop.
I did notice that too. They
Yeah.
lost Groover.
Yeah.
So I knew that there
They
was
had
a
a guy
third base.
drafted. Yeah.
I just felt like that was the timing of everything. It seemed like the perfect fit. Obviously a bigger conference too was what I was looking for. But I did want to stay close by. I wasn't going to go to Carolina if people want to ask about that, but Carolina did not reach out to me.
Did not.
No.
Yeah. Well, did you quickly figure out at ECU the dynamics between all of these schools, particularly in baseball? State, Carolina, and ECU? Because it was probably something you didn't know getting here.
No.
Yeah. But you didn't develop any kind of distaste for anyone while you were there.
No, I mean, no one really.
That's more for the fans, though, right?
It's like, I mean, that's more for the fans. Like the players, I feel like most of them, I don't know if unless they were high school rivals in this state, I don't really know about whether they got after each other or not. But I mean, everyone had a good amount of respect for each other. Even in the state Carolina series this year, I thought it was super respectful. But the fans obviously love to get into it, which I didn't really hear anything too bad as a player on the field. Like, you know, it was just so loud and overpowering. You couldn't really hear what was being said, but I thought it was pretty professional.
When you end up having a conversation, because Elliot has said that he called Cliff and said, "Hey, I'm going to talk to this kid and, just wanting to let you know, give you a heads up." So everything from there kind of went according to plan.
Yeah, I think Elliot didn't want to take me. Because he didn't want to start anything. But he had taken an ECU transfer. I remember before. His name was Trey Truitt, and he ended up going to, I think, UNCG after that. After state. But so he has taken players from there before. But I mean, he was a freshman when he transferred out of ECU, so like it wasn't as a big of a deal, obviously. From me being a 4-year player and graduating.
How were the state players when you got here?
Oh, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Day one, they were just like, cool.
They knew what they had to do.
Yeah, they were like, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah. What will be one thing from this year that you look back, that Carolina series, or maybe even the home run at ECU, or maybe Georgia? What is one thing that you'll kind of take from this year and be like, okay, that was pretty cool?
It was definitely the home run in Georgia. Game 3. Was it the 6th inning, 7th inning? Because I knew we still had, I think it was D-Rock and Dude in the pen.
Yeah.
And I was like, this game's over.
Yeah.
Like, we might even score a couple more because it was back and forth. And that was really cool. And just like, they're not going to give up. But once we just kept doing it, and we'd been doing it the 2 games before, or actually the first game, not so much the second game, but once they saw us get that going, I was like, this is going to be a cool feeling. But it didn't really settle in once we were going to Omaha. So that was a weird feeling. I didn't know what to expect, but it was just so cool. And I'll be able to tell that story for the rest of my life, how cool it was.
No doubt. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I got a couple of lightning round questions for you. A couple that are going to date me tremendously. So I'm prepared to embarrass myself. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. With some time off, I've had some time to think a little bit here. And man, oh man, I've been thinking about the people who support us. That starts with you. The downloads that we get, more than 1 million now. The views on YouTube, more than 1 million. All of these things, they help us. And they help our sponsors. And I can't tell you what a charge it is for me when you guys on social media reach out to the people who support us and say, hey, you were right about the app. You were right about having a conversation with State Farm. You were right about the butcher's market and what great selection that they have. You were right about Two Roosters and the ice cream that they have. Those are the kind of things that keep me going. And I got to say to you guys, I want to say thank you for real, because this does not work without the corporate support that we have, and then in turn, the way that you let them know, hey, I'm here because I heard about it on the OG. And a true OG is Breeze Through. And if you don't know, the Sports Podcast Festival, August 24th, that's a Saturday. We're going to be at the Rialto. That's presented by Breeze Through. When I go on the road now, I'm very judgy of rest stops in Connecticut. I'm very judgy of all of the Jersey Turnpike stops that are closed, by the way. I mean, get your act together, Jersey. You know what you really need? You need a breeze through. That's what you need. The best snacks, the cleanest bathrooms, the easiest stops. Download that 76 app. Save yourself on your gas. It cannot be easier than that. And we can't thank Adam and the Breeze Through crew enough for the way that they support us and all of the local businesses that they do and the teams that they do. They do a great job. So Breeze Through will be the presenting sponsor of the Sports Podcast Festival. That will be us. It will be Hand in the Dirt, which is our friend Michael Felder, and then the Shutdown Full Cast, the main event. So come see us. August 24th. April, that's my birthday. August 24th. That's a Saturday. It's at the Rialto. You can buy tickets at therialto.com. That's how smart Hayes Permar is. He has the world's greatest URL for the Rialto because there's more than one Rialto, let me tell you. And you can find the real Rialto at Raleigh, therialto.com. Get your tickets for the Sports Podcast Festival. I mentioned the ice cream, the two roosters. I don't know how I made it 2 weeks without two roosters. Do yourself a favor. Go fall in love. Find a flavor and fall in love. Every time I go, I get a different flavor. And I'm like, no, Jared, this is the best one. No, this is the winner. No, you got to keep this one. Jared's like, Gilio, I can't keep all of these flavors that you want me to keep, but I can keep coming up with great different combinations. So check them out in the OG home base there, Lake Boone Shopping Center, or where we typically end up going off of Person there. So go check in the Oakwood Mordecai section there. So go check them out. Unbelievable flavors, the best ice cream there is. It's really not even close. And one thing I miss in Jersey and New York and different states where I don't know the different rules, Nature's Relief. My friends at Nature's Relief can help you with all kinds of different Delta 8, Delta 9 smokables. They've got drinks. They've got gummies. I prefer the drinks. I like the drinks. That's my go-to. I've worked my way up a little bit. So, we got a couple of things going on there, which I really appreciate from our friends at Nature's Relief. Now, they have a little bit of news for me. While I spend a lot of time in Garner on the Timber Drive location, the Western Boulevard location has new summer hours. It's Thursday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Okay. The one on Western where we did the show from, it's Thursday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. So go check them out for all of your needs. Again, that's Nature's Relief, RELEAF. All right, let's get to some speed round questions and close out our summer session with Alec Makarewicz. Mac. We'll see if I can embarrass myself a little bit here. I'm definitely about to age myself, but definitely about to show that I'm 49 this year in 2024. All right, we're back here with AMAC. Wolfpack legend now, man. You had one of the best seasons in the history of NC State baseball. I mean, I can't put you next to my guy, Brock Deathridge or Trey Turner. You know that Trey Turner potentially doesn't like me because there's a Joe Giglio in Philadelphia on Sports Talk Radio.
Not a clue. Even
though I was like the first Joe Giglio to like be nice to Trey Turner. It's a different story, man. I'm just saying this to you so that when you get to the pros, you remember that I'm the Joe Giglio in Raleigh, different than the Joe Giglio in Philly. You can't hold any criticisms from him against me.
Okay.
Is that a deal?
Hopefully if I get a chance to play with Trey, maybe I could.
There you go.
Maybe I can get in his ear for you.
Total wolf blood, all the time. I love it. All right. So let's do two things real quick. The number 99. Pure Aaron Judge homage, or where do we get 99?
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, hockey. I played hockey even though I was in Florida. Played house league hockey from when I was like 6th till 8th grade.
Okay.
Played in a couple travel tournaments, but it was just too expensive. So I always thought I was really good at hockey, and eventually I had to stop playing. So I chose 99 in baseball.
The great one. Wow.
Yeah.
See, so I went to a Yankee Met game while I was up in New York last week, and my son got me tickets. My son James at ECU got me tickets for Father's Day. And I follow Major League Baseball, but not as closely as I used to. So I grew up in New Jersey, followed the Yankees. I could tell you every player from 1984 to 1992 who played in the major leagues, right? I can't tell you like anything about right now, other than I'm watching the Yankee game and I know Aaron Judge is 99. Now I'm looking and the first baseman's wearing 93, like the second baseman's 95, the pitcher's 91. And I'm getting mad because I'm like, you're the Yankees. And I get it. Numbers 1 through 10 are retired, but don't be giving out all these 90s. Don't be infringing upon my guy. Right? Like, let Aaron Judge live. Let him have a moment, man. So I was mad. I didn't know if the 99. Now I know. It's not an homage to the Judge, the King of the North.
Yep.
Who's your major league team?
The Rays, probably growing up. Went to a couple of Rays games.
Get out of here.
Those were the only games I really went to. So like I just was like, all right, I'm
the
a Rays fan.
Rays. Oh man.
My second choice might be the Orioles, just because I'm trying to get to a game, so I want to go check out.
By the time this airs, you're gonna have a new favorite team, so we won't worry about that. I'm all good on that front. All right, so here's a deal I would like to make with you, even though I have no bargaining power as we speak. You make it to the majors. I need at least one at bat where you play the Macarena.
I can do that.
So I'm big on nicknames. That's like one of the things I like. And obviously you already have a built-in one there with AMAC, but every time you come up, I go, A Makarewicz instead of A Macarena.
That's awesome.
Right? Even if it's in my own head, even if I just dated myself and it was the corniest thing I've ever said in my life, that's what I hear.
It's been said before, so you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Okay. But what is your walk-up song?
Summer Love by Justin Timberlake.
JT.
Cool vibe kind of song.
Yeah. Has it always been your walk-up song?
No.
What went into choosing a walk-up song?
I just wanted something a little more loose, you know. I've kind of tried everything. Like I've done some country, I've done some rap. But you know, I just felt like that was a good one. A little different.
All right. So you've been through the draft last year. We know how that one ended. 5th year this year. You just turned in an all-time season. I know you're going to be playing pro baseball. So what are some of your thoughts heading into the process this time and where it kind of goes from here for you?
I mean, I'm happy to be healthy. First off, never had any surgeries, you know, knock on wood.
Yeah. Please do not jinx anything in this building.
That's kind of what's going through my head is just, you know, this is the best I've felt. My body's felt in a long time. So, you know, I feel like if it's meant to be, you know, it'll happen. So that's kind of what happened at State. You know, I really thought it was meant to be.
Did you think you needed to have the World Series that you had just to add another layer of no doubt for the scouts?
I mean,
like, was that part of the thought process too?
I mean, people told me, you know, like it'll be good to add, obviously, if you play well on that stage. But, you know, I felt like that I have played really good defense and have had some really good at bats at a high stage and, you know, regionals and supers. So, you know, it was just good to add to it.
Are you ready for some bus rides and whatever else comes along with minor league baseball? What are some of the myths and legends that you're either looking forward to or?
I mean, I feel like I'm just honestly a pretty gritty player. But obviously I feel like I've been able to show my talent this year. But like I'm excited for it. You know, I've been played 3 summers of summer baseball right after college seasons that I've played every game in, and you know, I was the active leader in games played this year. So I feel like if anyone's ready, it better be me. Like for that grind.
Yeah, you need the A's to draft you. They would definitely put some value in that college experience. I think a lot of people are copycats with the A's. All right, so let's just say I don't even know what the equivalent of Monday Night Football is for baseball, but let's say you make the All-Star game and they announce you and they go Alec Makarewicz and you go NC State, ECU. What do you say? What hat do you pull from the table?
Yeah, I mean, definitely NC State, because that's where I really showed what I think teams think I can do. You know, and obviously it didn't really end well at ECU, but I mean, you know, I don't take back the years that I had there. Like, you know, I had a lot of experiences and, you know, made some friends. And like, again, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for the year that I've had at NC State.
As long as it's not a whole pack of pirates, I'm okay. Just pick one.
Yeah, I mean, if I get picked, it's
that's
from
Russell
my
Wilson,
NC State
man.
year. So
That's Russell Wilson. He tries to say a whole pack of Badgers. He is the corniest there ever lived, though. So I have faith. Even if you said ECU, I'd be like, all right, you know what? He graduated from there. I'm totally okay with that.
I mean, you know, you might be able to catch me still at some, you know, some ECU football games and some basketball games and stuff. So, you know, I'm always going to be around. But yeah, obviously, if they pick me, it's going to show NC State because, you know, I played here my last year. So,
well, you know what? Best of both worlds. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you taking some time. Best of luck to you in your ventures here, man. You're going to be on the road, and it's going to be fun. You know, you're going to get a run at it, and that's what it's all about. I saw you. So I didn't get a chance to cover you really this year, but I saw you in Omaha after the end of the game, and you know, you were obviously emotional, but you know, one thing I hope you learned is you poured that thing out this year, man. You know, like you gave everything that you had. And things I've learned in just in the last few years, as long as you can sit there and look in the mirror at the end of the day and said, I did my best. I gave my best. I know what I gave, and I know I had nothing left. And I then you can live with the results. You know what I mean? And hopefully in the last couple of weeks you've realized that, because you poured it out, man. You gave it everything you had, and you had an unbelievable year. So hopefully we'll see you with my man Trey Turner in Philly. I'll just root for that.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Because I need someone to say, no. That the Joe Giglio you're mad at. It's a different Joe Giglio. There's two of them. I promise.
Clear that up for you.
Yeah, and I'll see you back at the whatever he's calling the park these days. My man Elliot, you know, he lives over there, so you can always drop in and see the crew over there. So I appreciate you, AMAC. Best of luck to you. Best of luck going forward. And you're the first one who's been in here. I almost feel like I need a parting gift or something for you. Make sure that you go away happy here from the Eford Studios and the OG. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit those likes, drop those comments in there. Are you an ECU fan now that you cannot be mad at AMAC anymore? It's all good. Let it go. Okay. You're a State fan. You already like AMAC. So you love him and you love him up and wish him the best going forward. So great episode. Appreciate your time, AMAC.
Yeah, thank you.
See you guys. All right, that's going to do it for this OG summer session. Just a reminder, we will be at the Crank Arm Brewing, downtown Raleigh, on July 28th. That's a Sunday, probably around 1 o'clock, okay? Sunday, we're going to have Crank Arm beers. We're going to have the Butcher's Market. We're going to have a DJ. It's the OG Summer Jam. Come join us. And of course, if you haven't gotten them already, get your tickets for the Sports Podcast Festival. We will be at the Rialto on August 24th. Go to therialto.com to purchase your tickets. Appreciate Hayes Permar and all of his support for the Sports Podcast Festival presented by Breeze Through. All right, guys. If you have some ideas for another summer session conversation, please let me know. I am working on a few, including one with our friend over in Chapel Hill who goes by the name of Lawrence. We'll see if I can be able to convince him into that. And then we have some friends at Wake Forest who I know are interested in some of our conversations. I just got to tell these people, I got to remind you now, last year, there were 3 people who gave me extra time. One was Elliot Avent. His team ends up in the College World Series. One was Kevin Keats. His team not only wins the ACC championship, but they go to the Final Four. And the third was Paul Maurice. Mo and the Florida Panthers end up winning the Stanley Cup. I'm not saying it's me. I'm saying these people showed that if you give a little bit of extra time to the OG, your karma, what you put out, you'll get back tenfold. So as always, subscribe, hit that like button, drop me who you'd like to see us talk to next for an OG summer session. Appreciate you guys for taking the time. And as always, enjoy your summer. Enjoy this July.